and welcome to Total Party Recap, TPK Roleplay's content recap and talk show. My name is Tyrant, and I am one of three hosts for this show. Joining me are Turk and Heck, your second and third hosts from now into perpetuity, and a very special guest, Last HP Hero. For all of our first-time viewers and listeners, let's go around the table and introduce ourselves really quick, starting with Turk.
Hey everybody, as Tyrant said, my name is Turk. I am a GM, player, and general nuisance here at TBK. I am really excited once again to recap all the excellent goodies we have put out for you and what an absolutely content-filled week we have here. Oh boy. So without further ado, I'm just going to pass it off so we can get right into all this and just dive right into the thick of it. Over
Oh
to you,
yeah,
Hank.
we've got a lot. We've got a lot. Hey lovelies, it's Sir Heckalot. You know, I'm the hype person, kind of, and I play sometimes, is how it goes. Um, like Turk said, there were so many things that happened this week, some really awesome things that, yeah, we just gotta jump into immediately. So I'm just gonna pass it on over.
My name is Dane, also known as the Last Hit Point Hero, and you can find me running a couple games here at TPK Roleplay, Curse of Strahd, Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden. I think we'll talk about those a little bit tonight, and I'm very excited to be here. Monthly, you can watch me as a player on Roundhouse Whitebridge with the wonderful DMF Saint behind the reins with this guy up there with me as well. And I've been a player or DM of Dungeons and Dragons for 20 years. Love it and don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So, yeah.
We're all glad you're here, HP.
Very.
Once again, I am Tyrant, a GM, staff member, and host for TPK Roleplay. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Dr. Tyrant. A little background on Total Party Recap. The show was designed with the busy viewer in mind. We understand that not everyone has the time to consume all of TPK's content, so we are hoping this show will be an answer to that need. We will be recapping and talking about each stream and event that happens at TPK every Sunday at 5 p.m. PST, 8 p.m. EST. Tonight will be a normal run of our show where we will be recapping only 1 week of content. We will be covering November 16th to November 22nd. To the viewers, if you all have any questions during the episode that you might want answered about some of the content, or just have something you'd like us to talk about, anything at all, feel free to say so in chat, and we'll do our best to incorporate that into our discussions. Okay, now that all the formalities are out of the way, how about we dive into tonight's episode? Hello, everybody.
Hey,
Hello.
how's it going?
I already see one question in chat because they just asked if I'm wearing suspenders. I guess technically yes, but they're fake. So I'm wearing this onesie, right? It is a very long time since October. It is not even close to Halloween, but I'm wearing a Ghostbusters onesie because it was the first onesie I found.
Yes.
And we needed shenanigans because I promised Purple Phil some shenanigans for their sacrifice of channel points. So this is just, I'm already burning up, but it is worth it.
And we will give Purple Phil anything they ask for. And if you watched games this week, you will know why.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. If there was a chat MVP of the week, it would be Purple Phil for sure. But yeah, everybody else doing fine. This week was a little hectic, a little crazy in terms of all the content we put out there. HV, I know you've got some things to talk about, and I mean, it was weird. Last week, I was supposed to be in content 5 of the 7 days of the week or something like that. And Whitebridge unfortunately got canceled, so it was cut down to 4. But I didn't do anything this week except for this.
Imagine. Only 4 things.
It was like oh goodness.
We've missed your face, Tyrant. We've missed
I
your
know.
face.
Everybody. I feel like even people I'd like normally always. Okay.
Wait. All right.
Right lever.
We did it.
Oh,
hey, look at that.
All right, we're back.
We're back on the screen.
So let me make sure this is actually
goodness.
charging. Come on, you stupid wire. This charger does not want to charge this computer. Fun facts about my technology.
Uh-oh.
But it's okay, because we're here.
This technical difficulty break brought to you by I don't know what
this wire.
What company is this? Brought to you by Barbarian Rage. candles. I don't know what company this is. GM Dice Candles.
You all might not have seen it, but Purple Phil turned in some more channel points and it let us re-roll a few things. So we're back.
Oh, okay, good.
Yes. Very good.
Okay. Let's all just think positive thoughts about this charger. It's all going to be okay. Anyway, where were we? Hi, everyone. I'm at home instead of my apartment today, so things are a little different with my setup. In case you
Oh, I
couldn't tell,
see. Okay.
I am not even in my own room because I was
I
not
was gonna
allowed that
say.
luxury.
I was
This
gonna
looks
say
like some
the
tea.
background looks different than normal. So you're back home for the holidays now?
Yeah, I suppose you can say that. Yeah,
I
I'm
was
just here
really
for
hoping you
I'm just
didn't
here for the
freeze
week.
again.
Oh my God, yeah, no, definitely not frozen. The only way I'm frozen is that I don't know how to explain that I'm at my parents' house. But that's it. That's the secret, everybody.
No, it's all good.
All good. All good.
HB, how's your week been?
Good. Very good. It's always an exciting week to start a new show. So that makes for a lot of, find yourself trying to make sure the one show's ready to go and then another one's coming and,
Right.
add some stuff.
Yeah. Heck.
Oh yeah, this was a super hype week. I mean, I was also in a premiere, which was crazy. Chat lost their hecking minds. Like it was fantastic, but oh my gosh.
It was
It was
only a hype
so
train.
much. It was
Gosh.
so much. Well, I mean, just throughout the entire night, like the energy just we didn't even go 0 to 60. We just started at 60. Like we just we just went, which was so fun. I also just enrolled into a ornithology class. It's an online
Hey,
class,
look at that.
so I'm gonna be learning about birds. And just I don't know, fun fact about the Cornell Lab of Ornithology. I guess their email for this is just Bird Academy, and I think that's the best thing ever.
Oh,
I don't
man.
know. I just find that really fun.
Yeah, I
Fantastic.
like I said, I had a very kind of slow and quiet and peaceful week. Finished up a lot of like prep for law school and current school and work and stuff. So very much a needed kind of off TPK, more like shoring up IRL stuff. So very good. And I find out my LSAT test scores in 2 days, and I'm not worried whatsoever.
Good. I mean, good.
Yeah. So hopefully we have good news next time. But let's get to the actual recapping part of our show.
Do we do that here? I don't. Do we?
Nah.
Nah.
It's just us talking about nothing.
Our day and the Council of Cats trying to stop our stream by pulling wires.
So then the assassins tried to take out Turk.
They
They
certainly,
had
the
black for a
internet
moment.
assassins, the Malorites, and the Council of Cats have come together clearly and are trying to stop me from telling the truth about them.
It could have been Bird too, but we'll get into that.
Bird.
Yeah.
It was
So we have a lot of stuff to talk about this week,
So much
chat. So we'll just dive right in. The first thing on Monday, we had the Victorian Paranormal Society, which is colloquially known as Sherlock Investigations. So I actually have a player submitted recap for this, which I thought was really cool. Dev Develops made this in character, and his character wrote.
How do you pronounce that?
Alioun.
There you go.
Nice.
Okay. I remember because I was like Alioun.
Alien.
Alhoun.
Alhyun.
Yeah.
Yes, everyone
okay.
knows the French name of Alhyun.
Yes, Alhyun. Alioun says, we inspected one of the royal summer homes in Scotland. Balmoral House is what it was named. We were hired to investigate the validity of a haunting by 2 individuals who claimed to be ghost hunters. Upon further review, we learned that they had supplanted inventions as a ruse to gain certification of this haunting. But the fake, fiendish runes they used turned out to be real. This resulted in a summoning of an incubus and its hellhound. Later, we searched the grounds to find the groundskeeper's grave, much to our dismay, of course, because he was the one who greeted us in the beginning. May he rest in peace. I suppose it is haunted then, but with a friendly soul in tow. And it's very, very nice little write-up there, Dev. And we actually have a conversation between one of the characters in that friendly soul, Al the Biffers. Was it Willie?
Yeah.
Yes, handsome Will.
Yes, handsome Will. Yes, and the groundskeeper. So
Yeah, let's roll that footage, I suppose. But I'm in charge of that, so I'll roll the footage.
That's very nice and all. You talking about flowers and that, which I'm sure is lovely and stuff. But who do you work for then? Yeah, you got to know the grounds, you got to know your flowers and your moonlights and whatnot. But you got to work for someone, ain't you? You got to earn that bunts, mate.
Yeah, I've worked for the royal family ever since I was very young. Put me to work.
You work for a Madge, mate. I thought Apsley House was something in London, but this place, there's got to be a million ways in and out of here, isn't there?
Yeah, they use this as a vacation home, right?
Vacation home.
That's
Some people got more money than sense, son. Jeez.
I love it so much. I'm sorry. Oh, like off of a test stream, we attracted Al the Biffer to us.
Mhm.
Thank goodness, whatever deity, religion you prefer, that he is here for the moments exactly like this. Oh my gosh.
Exactly. And just like, yeah, between the character personality and the character art, if you've never seen it, it's so good. Just to play a British bugbear is the best thing. I love it so much.
It's one of those combinations that works so perfectly. You can't, and the accent was so spot on with all the rest of it that every time Al the Biffer was talking, you can just picture this bugbear perfectly in an amazing way. So it was a lot of fun.
Oh, 100%.
It
Yeah.
was just like, yeah, I appreciate all the artwork. I appreciate the costumes. Luca's wig was so good.
Shaved and pressed down a wig to
It was
better show
perfect.
red hair.
yeah, she
was very
spent
good.
a lot of time on that. She had a bald
Yeah.
cap on underneath, which she colored red so that she could give that like shaved side appearance. It was fantastic work, and I mean all of the players are fantastic in their own respects and what they do. And Cole as a GM is really good too.
Mhm.
Like, it's a very good show, and I'm interested to see how it progresses in like the traditional Harper style that we've kind of made a classic here at TPK. And we have multiple of those styles of campaigns coming up and on the docket, so it'll be interesting to see where all of that goes.
Yeah, as a reporter on the inside of the downtime RP for this group especially, I can tell you things got pretty heated for a hot second there. Something about a puppy from hell and a certain bugbear monster hunter wanting to handle it. So, unfortunately, there is no red card against harm against creatures here. So, yeah, that everything's fine now. The butler handled it. But yeah, no, there's definitely a lot of people here willing to go 110% into their characters and just bring it. So keep it tuned in. I think yeah, it's gonna be once a month, and Cole's bringing it all to bear. This is his baby 100%. He's carrying it to term.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think one of the things that you mentioned is the behind the scenes RP that goes on here at TPK Roleplay is so much fun. whether it's the channels in the Discord or whether it's just interactions that either I've had with DMs or DMs have had with me and players have had with me as a DM. There's a lot of getting into character in a beautiful way, and that's one of the things I love so much about coming over and being a part of you guys these last few months is there's the all-in element, and that matters a lot for a fun game. That's every single game's got that all-in element. So
yeah,
and
it's really important that to me it's really important that we have some element of RP in our campaigns, and for certain structures that we have, like Harper's, like Sherlock investigations, it can be a little more difficult to get that full-fledged kind of deep RP in those sessions because they already run long. If we added how much RP we really wanted to have in a Harper's game, it would probably
10-hour
run
session.
like
Just do it.
just a 10-hour full-fledged session.
Yeah.
So
Shakespearean.
Yeah, but I mean,
theater at that
also,
point.
yeah, just like another point is that, it's not like the next episode immediately happens at the point that the last episode ended. There's time in between a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So to see what happens in that downtime between missions is super important because it's not just like a stagnant thing. So I absolutely love it. And I also love the fact that, RP isn't like, we don't require that out of anybody. This is just something that people volunteer to do because they just really like doing it. And that just makes me really happy.
Yeah, and Chrissy, Callie numbers in chat. I love that that's your nickname for us now. I hope you're
Very
okay
good.
with that. But Chrissy pointed out that the downtime RP helps flesh out the character personality, and that's 100% true. I think I can name multiple Harper's members who probably had that exact same experience. Mine in particular with Gruff just having to it was like very much kind of playing the man too angry to die at first, and then having all of the RP, having those intense moments like the first funeral of the original Harper's members, and then having the smaller end session character choices in RP after that, and then diving into like the heavy RP stuff definitely influenced how I played Gruff in the future.
I don't know.
Another element of TPK is I think that Cole and everyone put some of that downtime RP into the Patreon, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes.
So that made it into the Patreon. So there's ways to interact with that and at least to read that. And you can see like in the RP in any session, you see the players pick up on something, and instead of just faking it, oh yeah, that thing that happened in Belarus. No, you actually talked about what happened in Belarus and people are on the same page, and it's downtime RP is great for that.
I mean, like, we even influenced merch with some of the RP. Like, Be a Terror came from RP, which is just like really cool to me, and we still say it. I absolutely love it. It's just it's very good.
But yeah, no, all of the downtime RP that we have made has been edited and compiled and posted in the Patreon for free. So if you're watching through, Harper's or starting to watch Sherlock, I'm not entirely sure if the Sherlock is getting posted yet.
It's being compiled by Chrissy as we speak.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's going to be on there soon. So if you're wanting to get to know these characters better, and have a more active engagement in their lives and their character progression, definitely check out the RP. And I think I coined it last time, but Harper's season 2 is definitely going to be more of a multimedia campaign than anything, and I think we're going to definitely spend a lot more time, especially from the beginning on, with the downtime RP. So it's something that we all really love to do, and it makes the most sense for us, so we don't have 10-hour sessions like it was. So if you do want to get that full experience, definitely go check that out.
I mean,
for sure.
Yeah.
To be fair, like Harper sessions Harbor's downtime stuff is still being compiled and added to the Patreon. And if you wanted to go back and watch and understand why I am bawling my eyes about a series of one-shots that are connected by an overarching plot, like, you need to do the homework, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They're, as intimidating as that might sound to say to someone, oh, like, oh yeah, no, you can watch the videos, but you also have to read the in-between stuff. And there's like 4, like 12 plus page docs in between this session and this session, and you have to read them in order to understand what's going on in the next session with this one thing that happens. If you read this doc, it's going to be so different than if you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
And yeah, I agree. You definitely need to read between the lines. Sometimes you need to read beyond the lines, and sometimes you just need to dive beyond the undergrowth.
Wow.
See what you did there.
Ah!
Oh boy. Oh, that was a segue.
That was,
Oh boy.
yeah, wow.
So yeah, we had a really interesting episode of Beyond the Undergrowth this week. I think it was pretty different. We introduced not only a new character but a pretty new player to TPK. Foxy, if you haven't followed him on Twitter or like seen him in the Discord, really cool guy. So definitely check him out. He introduced his lizard folk ranger, Raz, and it was very interesting to see the interactions they had to make to get his character out of a cage that some goblins put him in. They saw the Goblin Queen. Tell did a dance. Okay, if you haven't seen Tell's dance, you definitely need to. Also became an ape, which I came into chat like about that point, and I just saw that there was an advantage for the ape, and I didn't know what that meant until I rewatched. I was like, what did that mean? But oh my gosh, there was that. They finally found the automaton, and in the words of Tony, promptly threw it away like trash. You know. But it'll be really interesting to see where they go after all of that. But just Cole does not only dance as Tell at almost every session in the last couple of sessions. He's also sang, and so I decided to pick that for the clip. So I think we should roll that immediately.
Rolling immediately and with great
Oh,
pleasure.
guys, I feel something. Feel that I'm getting very tired, and I need a break. Everything you say to me takes me one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break. I need a little room to breathe, because I'm one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break.
We're leaving Tell at the back of the line and walk.
So the party has some thoughts on that one.
They did not like that one as much as the other one. But I loved it. I thought it was great. And it forced them into taking an intermission because they needed to process what just happened. So,
I felt like the shift is what really did it, because it just went on and like this. The tone shift that it brings, it's something that I love about watching Cole break out into song. You don't know what kind of song it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
It could be anything. I mean, and that's just one of those, you don't know what to expect, and Cole dives in and it starts bopping, and everyone just doesn't know how to deal with Tell.
Yeah. I mean, same.
When Tell first replaced, so I guess I don't know. It doesn't count as a spoiler, does it? If it's
At this point, yeah, I would say you're fine to.
So when Will died, Will was using the same avatar that I did when I came back to playing online again last year. It was just by coincidence we grabbed that same art, and it hurt me when Will died because of that. And then Tell shows up and seems so dark and mysterious, but within like 3 episodes, Tell is just breaking it down, and it's a blast.
It's great, and I won't say a lot about his Superman antics last episode, but you should definitely look at that. There's some Superman stuff going on with Tell, which was real interesting.
Yeah.
And so was the plant fight. They fought some plants, and the entire time, so I was hanging out in voice chat during this, right, on our server, and we kept making Little Shop of Horrors references, and I was laughing so hard. Like, I think this is the thing that, like, is my weakness. I think it's going to break me every time, no matter what. As soon as people do that, like, feed me, like Purple's saying in the chat right now. I don't know why, but it makes me laugh so hard.
The conversation of having orphaned a plant was nice too. You know,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
moral
there's-
dilemmas of Dungeons and Dragons.
You know, baby plant killers. It happens.
Hey, there was a question in chat. Luca asks, is my vacation internet messing with me, or is HP's shirt snowing?
Let's not discount the fact that she said help.
Help.
This is a cry for help. This is not a question.
Yes.
Yes.
She needs an answer.
So first, help. Sorry, we can't help. Second, you know, it took a little bit of DM magic, but I got this thing working with a few spells and selling my soul a couple times, and I hope the two devils don't find out they each have a claim to the soul. So,
Ooh, some fun shenanigans there.
A stock market warlock. I gotcha. It's great.
It's a
It's
custody
going
battle.
to work. I
There's gonna be a
I
custody battle.
have post-it notes, and it's going to be a great class.
look, it's an every other weekend thing. I'm getting more from the other than the other. It's only fair.
Is it, I hate to use this. Is it like divorced parents?
Well, they don't know yet. See, that's the fun part.
Oh.
It's a reverse parent trap.
Oh,
They don't know they're divorced yet, but we're
Oh my
setting them
God.
up for it.
It's a
They know
reverse
they're
parent
married.
trap.
I mean, that they don't even
How
know
did
it yet. It is. Look, I've been piecing this together for a long time. I've got a board with red lines all over the place.
Oh.
Twins who hate each other say we each want to go with a different parent, and so they covertly break their parents apart.
Man, you know,
Get them with
HP.
terrible people.
I wish we had Whitebridge this week, because then I could segue perfectly from red lines on boards to that, but I can't.
I
So
mean, no, I think chat. If you look at them, they're a little sad about us keeping them in the dark. But perhaps we shouldn't keep them in the dark about darkest night, brightest light.
Oh, okay. Hex got segues.
oh,
See,
I've seen that game. I watched that one all the way through.
oh yeah, did you?
Every second. I didn't
I
even
didn't
get up
blink.
during intermission.
I'm glad.
Well, anyway, on Wednesday this last week, we had the pleasure of once again welcoming back the crew to Barovia, and sorry, someone's really stomping around my parents' house right now. Uncertain what that is. Anyway,
It's Strahd.
speaking of uncertain sounds and terrors in the night, this session was a lot of fighting, which is obviously very fun
Yes.
for me. But also had some, I think, one of the best instances of a good table paying off I think we've seen on TPK. And I don't want to spoil exactly what happened, but you know, if you watch the last episode to see how they got here, and then just enjoy the shenanigans. And I'm very glad that Noir is back, because Noir is good at a lot of things, and I think something he is universally good at is doing things that are not to plan and making them work, and absolutely killing it on the one-liner game. And I think I have the perfect instance of that I want to show to y'all right now. Hopefully get some hype. And why do not the clips ever stay in the same space?
I came here to kill shit and raise babies. And right
You're
now,
all
Bright's
out of
holding my baby.
Amazing.
Thinks about this all week. That's what he does.
Yes.
Despite however long he may have had to think about that, I think that phrase really well captures the energy of the group a little bit. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. Last HP, you wanna chime in on it? They raise babies and they kick ass.
So, Barovia is a scary place. And if you've not caught up on the backlog, so we've come into TPK right around the halfway point of this campaign. And this group very early on decided that they wanted to adopt every single NPC they came across. Now, without getting into the details of Curse of Strahd's famous for being a little bit of a adopt an NPC here or there kind of a campaign. But the group has taken that to another level. They've collected a baby. They had three other children at one point. Another adult and a dog. What Niffer's in chat? How many was it, Niffer? You counted? And there's like 10 people standing outside of this house while 2 of you go in to scout. I mean, it's a blast, but it's kind of that quintessential. The players are always going to surprise you, and if when you're DMing, you're not ready to deal with it, you've presented them an option that you shouldn't have. Otherwise, be ready to deal with it.
And I know there's some DMs who would allow that, and much to their players' chagrin, would lead them to a certain place, and maybe a stray fireball would catch all 10 of them in one fell swoop. But I know that that's not necessarily your DM style, and I appreciate that, and I would like for you to talk a little bit about some of the changes you've made. I know we talked a little bit to Niffer about some of the changes. But if you want to kind of give your inside perspective on some of the changes you've made to Curse of Strahd, as in general, that'd be great.
Get the official count, by the way. We have 5 party members, 2 dogs, 1 adult NPC, 3 littles, and a baby.
One of the dogs.
Movie title. One of the dogs is a robot.
That's
one of the dogs got.
Yes. So, talking a little bit about Curse of Strahd. And I'm not going to go into any details. So if you're getting ready for a campaign or haven't watched any of that, Curse of Strahd has a lot of complex, difficult, and sometimes just straight up wrong things in how it's written. It's a vestige of old D&D in a lot of ways. And right away when I read through it, I knew that I wanted to run this game. I knew I wanted to run it as horror, but I also knew I didn't want to do cheap horror in any way. I read a book that Stephen King wrote talking about the difference between horror, terror, and disgust. And disgust is easy in horror. Disgust is the sort of thing where you just do something outrageous or sickening and you get that reaction really easily. And usually disgust triggers people. And I wanted to do a horror, but I wanted to do it in a way that everyone could have fun and be safe. And we talked a lot about that. We set ground rules at the table. We have red cards. We have a red card that came up in session, and we stopped to talk about it and made it a part of it. So, even when you make these changes to create a horror experience that doesn't cross those lines, which you can absolutely do, if there's any message that Darkest Night, Brightest Light should have, is that you can still do horror without hurting kids. We don't hurt kids on Curse of Strahd. Every kid in Curse of Strahd has plot armor. And you don't have to in order to bring that terror. Now, can you in some situations? Some tables that really gets that emotional reaction. For our table, it just won't happen that way. And we're still able to accomplish a lot of great things in that way. So, I hope that's something that we show is you can still do a lot of scary stuff without doing other things. So there's not a, giving one thing up for the other.
Right. And so some of the written in things that you have in Curse of Strahd Raw that are very specifically hurting kids.
Right.
Like you probably know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
How do you work around that? How do you replace it? Do you just cut it entirely?
So,
how does that work?
Again, without details, but you can still talk in general. That's actually the source of the red card that came up,
right.
Because even my attempt to adjust it crossed a line. And the responsibility of me as the DM was then to react to that, change that, and fix that. Mm-hmm. So we try and do things that aren't, you can still endanger the quest without actually putting someone in physical harm. There is a big issue with Strahd giving you no chance to save people, or giving you, the only chance you have to save them is if you've read the book once already. Going into Strahd and knowing nothing and doing it strictly by the book raw, there are a lot of just, haha, we killed this NPC. Now you get to discover how you failed. And that's not fun to me. That doesn't feel heroic for the players.
Right.
And so incidents like that one you're referring to, we shifted. It actually was a huge story point for one of the characters, how that played out in a way that removed people from danger. So it's it's tough to talk about without talking about, but you do things differently. Well, it is tough to talk about without talking about.
Right.
It's less physical. It can be more emotional in some ways. I guess that's one way to look at it.
Right.
You don't, and I think that's part of it. That's part of what we've tried to do. We've tried to avoid just the unnecessary physical disgust level of horror to go in other directions. And if you did catch us this last week, we almost never do all session fights like that one. We have a couple keystone fights every once in a while. So that was a little out of the ordinary. Yeah. Sorry, does that answer well?
No, that answers perfect.
I feel like I'm spinning a little bit, but that's on me.
Do you find that you're and I'm sorry, Hack and Turk, I know I'm kind of commandeering this conversation.
Go for it.
Curse of Strahd is like
It's one of your things, we know.
It's a passion. So do you find yourself having to change a lot more in Curse of Strahd than in general TTRPGs? And we're going to talk about Frostmaiden later. But do you have, like, I'm assuming you've gone through Frostmaiden, you've probably identified points that may be a little over the top, because it is like, or at least what I've heard it referred to as the modern kind of Strahd, in some ways, maybe a little. I don't know.
I think Strahd has many more problematic points, but So, talking about rewriting the materials, a lot of that depends on the table. So when I'm getting ready to do a new campaign, we sit down in a session 0, we talk about lines, we talk about veils, we talk about what's okay to get into and what's not okay to get into. And that does more to guide my rewrites than almost anything else. Now with Strahd, I was already rewriting some things, specifically how the Vistani are presented. The Vistani are just not presented in a way that I see as fair in how it's been done. Also, I changed, if you're familiar with the phrase fridging, so Strahd fridges a lot of kids and women. It just, even more so than men. And fridging is where somebody dies off screen. You don't get any chance to save, you don't get any chance to fix, you don't get any chance to do anything about it. So those two things about Strahd were changed before we even talked. And then after we had our session 0, more things changed to interact with that, because we're playing in a game together. We're all here to have fun. And so that's what it's all about. And adding things that someone doesn't see as fun means we're not all having fun. Right. And that's the thing I'm most passionate about is, I don't want somebody to sit at a table, even if they know what's coming, going, oh, I hope, this, I'm physically uncomfortable, not in an okay way, but in a not okay way. Mm-hmm. And those lines are important. There's times and there are tables that love that feeling, that feed off that feeling, and that's great. There's other tables where you never spring that on somebody. You don't just do that to somebody. Everyone has to have consent. Everyone has to have buy-in, and then you can have fun with all sorts of things. But those changes depend so much on the table. Right. With Frostmaiden, I've already made some changes further down the line based on our session 0 that I was not going to change if it weren't for the table I was on. Right. And that's not a comment with any negativity at all. I'm happy to change them so that everyone has fun. And usually they're not things that are very difficult to change. So I enjoy the work of having fun.
Yeah. Turk, heck.
I mean, I don't know what else there's to say. I mean, Darkest Night, Brightest Light is of course amazing, and I will hold my second question until Cold Hands, Warm Hearts. But I feel it's a silly question, and I don't know if I should follow up with that.
Oh, feel free. The thing about horror is you have to have silly elements. Otherwise, you get acclimated to the tension. You never relieve the tension, so you can't retighten the tension. So
Okay, then. The 4 words too dark, too light thing, that's intentional in both your campaigns?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So see, I thought, but I was like, maybe he just done by accident. Maybe he's just very clever.
You figured it out.
Not because they're tied together in some way, because they're not. I mean, I guess technically they're both in Faerun. Well, kind of Strahd's Ishish. But the thing that I like highlighting in games is the heroic element of the players. And so having that dichotomy at the front end between light and dark, and then reinforcing that, yes, this happiness is being brought to a sad place by these people who are having fun. That's just something I enjoy. So yeah.
And now I'm curious what your name for other modules would be. Like Lost Minds of Delver, like Tyranny
Even
of Dragons, or
let's see, Cholt comes to mind first. It'd probably be something like Wet Boots, Dry Eyes, maybe something like that. I'd have to play with that one a little bit, but I don't know what Tyranny of Dragons. Well, that'll be key for later. Tyranny of Dragons. I don't know. Nothing on the fly yet. Put me on the spot.
I mean, we do have. I feel, Tyrant, I'd hate to be the one to take control of the segue here, but we did just pass Hump Day.
Before we do that, I feel like we should probably take a break.
All right.
Exactly what I was going to transition into.
Okay.
Exactly what I was going to suggest, because we did just hit Hump Day, and I feel it is now time for us to take a quick 5-minute break, for us to recuperate, for us to be ready for the rest of the week, and be back with you all shortly. I don't know, hit the mute button there for a second. Got a little scary. But yeah, taking us out. So, and we're back.
Floating head.
and we're actually back. Hi everybody. Hope you enjoyed that little bit of Tyrant right there.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. No attention at all.
No, I think we're gonna pay a lot of attention to it. Like about as much attention as like a giant dragon might get your attention.
Like a dragon.
And just the pilot episode, yeah.
Hey, you're finally awake. You're awake.
Oh my.
Like a dragon with 5 heads. That much attention, maybe.
Maybe just
a Pentacaron,
a little,
perhaps.
A Pentacaron, yes, agreed. Tina Mott. Oh my goodness, guys!
God, Tina Mott.
Oh, this premiere was amazing. Like I'm already really biased because I was playing in it and it was absolutely crazy, but yeah, just the amount of work that was put into it, like the voiceovers, Tyrant. Oh my god, that was so cool. And then like I really appreciated the transitions from intermission to like back in stream and stuff, just like really good. And there's just a general hype. And yeah, so recapping before I just like go off, I guess. Our Tyranny of Dragons show that will be every other Thursday, Queen's Gambit. We had our premiere this Thursday, and yeah, it was crazy. We didn't know what to expect. We certainly weren't expecting to just jump into combat like we did, but our adventurers started in a split initiative. Actually, we saw the town of Greenest under attack, and we jumped in, and yeah, we met an adult blue dragon, in the first session. It's cool. We rescued some townsfolk. It was really cool. And honestly, like for a pilot episode, I feel like there were some really awesome character moments. just between how characters reacted to each other and the situation. Chrissy's character also standing up to enemy leader was, yeah, it was absolutely insane. Like, mad props for it. So yeah, it was crazy. I think the best way, honestly, to introduce that and all the character moments is just to play the clip that I picked out, because it was during that confrontation. So if we could just roll film, I think that'd be good.
I think we can roll film. All right, here we go.
I'm going to be honest with chat and everybody here. I don't expect all to make this out alive, but she's really giving it her go. So you'll just kind of see her. She's swiping up, aiming for major arteries in the legs, because that's about what she can probably reach on this massive guy. And as she kind of, I don't know, parries back, like in the back step, she's just going to aim for that Achilles heel.
Nice.
Just give him a good solid slice through it.
Ankle biting.
Yeah, literal ankle biting. Just go.
All right. Okay, so you're gonna slash at his basically like the weak points on his legs, and he'll definitely.
Yeah. So that, okay. That music's fucking badass, by the way.
Why did she just take out a machete and start dancing? Oh my.
Casual machete.
It's even funnier because you just made that Oompa Loompa joke off stream.
Oompa Loompa doopity dee. I've got a kobold biting for thee.
Yes. We got him to sing on stream.
Yeah,
guys.
there you go.
We
Who
did
needs
it.
a 16 on the deck of TPK thing?
Oh, yeah, no, badass music for sure. But also, yeah, just the character moment there of this little kobold deciding to just stand up to this guy that had taken some hostages and was, yeah, just bullying the village, which was, yeah, it was just really cool and a really badass way to kick off a campaign like this. Oh my gosh, I'm at a loss for what else to say other than it was so cool.
I will say that Magic Juice deserves huge props for taking what is by the book a slog of a fight through Greenest and pacing it in a way that kept what was going on in Greenest and kept all of the tension of what's happening without it just grinding out over and over again. So Magic, that was done so well from a behind the screen standpoint.
No, for real. I mean, I've run through it myself, and I think it took me because I think it was one of the first modules I ever ran, to be completely honest, which is a mistake. And I ran it raw, and it's very much like, okay, you move 10 yards, here's an encounter. You move another 10 yards, here's an encounter. And so, yeah, the fact that he was able to get through what he did in less than 10 hours is impressive.
Oh, yeah. I think the group that I went through Tyranny of Dragons with, it was 3 or 4 sessions before we got to that ankle biting incident, and I was the ankle biter in my group, so I was right there with Alta. So.
Yeah. And then we had, seeing everybody perform and stay focused as much as they did after the beginning of that episode too. As Chrissy just mentioned in chat, we had a very hype moment with the second ever hype train to ever pull into TPK station.
Yeah, it wasn't even just the hype train. It continued after that with like 3 or 4 more good and bad tables. It was crazy. There were some crazy effects that happened from it, like, just a character growing a mouth on their sternum. It just, it just happens, I guess. Yeah.
They're still looking for character art for that, by the way, too. So if you know of any good pictures of a maw on the chest of an elf.
Better yet, find an artist.
Yeah. I saw the one Chrissy put in. And
I missed that one.
And it was
yeah, I did. There's no way I missed it.
I thought you like commented on it.
I think I commented on a couple of them. It was all, they were great.
Yeah. Chris, he puts in chat, hey, do I need to like let everyone know about body horror and like censor things?
Yes. What's the TPK roleplay policy on body horror?
Yeah, no, incredible job all around. It was really nice seeing that group play too. The cohesion was there. I felt.
Yeah, I honestly felt the same thing. Oh my gosh.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
just the way that
say-
we coordinated our spells and, you know, kind of worked with each other. Like, yeah, like that was not something I expected to happen in the first session. But I guess if you throw your players into a very adrenaline rush situation, it just kind of happens sometimes.
I mean, in combat, sure, but also right out the gate, everyone's backstory, except for Masters, which is fine, is basically connected. I mean, we have a family structure already, which I find really cool because in D&D, most times the adventuring party is like the found family kind of thing. To come in with a no,
Hey,
you're
we
the
already
bot,
have it.
you're the like we already reached that point. We're good. Like you got a problem, you go talk to one of the parental figures. You need to talk shit. Here's the child figures. It's good, you know. And so that's just another thing. I think we obviously touched on this a ton before the background RP, but you know, just the prep ahead of time and figuring out dynamics and what everyone wants from the group. Like, you know, walking in with this set up is, I think, not just a gift to the DM to mess around with and have the notes and have the world kind of figured out more for, but for the audience as well. You know, we get on board already with these connections and just understanding these critical aspects of the characters, and without them even having to say it, just mentioning like, oh yeah, no, that character's, you know, my wife. And that character's, you know, and that character's my husband, and we care about each other deeply. So, and that's like immediately, that's like tension is up there. Like, you know, you didn't need to read 30 plus pages of archives docs to be like, oh wow, they care about each other. You know,
No, it's right there, and it took a lot of behind the scenes communication, like obviously, but yeah, just going through our chat, there's so much like it's very cordial, like, you know, that's my wife and all that, like lots of John Mulaney gifts, like yeah, it's great, and but yeah, there was a lot going into it for sure, and so like yeah, I really appreciate how into it the rest of the cast was, like that Magic, for example, is like super into it all, and we actually split into our own like separate group chats for each group that was like, you know, in the town and not in the town to talk about like what we were doing, and it was just it was really well communicated beforehand.
You could tell just how keyed in it was when Niffer and Corndog both went to preparing tea, except Corndog was going to make it for everybody and Niffer was going to make it for Corndog. So I mean, like right away you get these same ideas, this interaction between the characters that's bouncing off with everybody else, and it's all wholesome and wonderful and beautiful, and it's all completely natural from a this side of the screen standpoint, you know, from watching it play out. Even without seeing the behind the scenes talk, you know, chats talking about how much they were talking about all this beforehand, it came out immediately, which is a lot of fun.
For sure. It's a very wholesome campaign, or at least the party is, until we get attacked by more dragons. But until then.
Oh, and I was going to comment on this also from a combat standpoint. It happened both in Curse of Strahd and here, where somebody launched a control spell that completely changed a fight. Where it was a situation where a fight's practically won just from control spells before it really ever gets going. And I love seeing that as a DM, because every DM, we like hitting characters with our monsters, or we wouldn't put monsters in there with big spiky clubs to hit you with. And when they can't because they're asleep or tied up in vines or scared of the paladin, I mean, we still like you guys, but it just makes us want to hit you harder sometimes.
I know, I'm waiting for it. I'm gonna get hit.
I am excited to see how this campaign progresses. You know, from from even before the campaign was announced, Magic came up to me and asked me about doing the voiceover work for it, and so personally, I'm excited to see maybe if he wants to do more of that, but we'll see. And
not pitching your services at all.
Oh,
but
no,
no, I'm not
but
pitching
But
anything.
where's that link where people to hit you on a bum Fiverr?
Hey, you know what? If you want like some deep voice work or whatever, you can just go look at my Twitter.
Give the people something for free. Give them a little taste. Give them a little taste.
No.
No? Oh, wow. Okay. All right. I'm
Okay,
sorry, Chad. I didn't realize
Chat.
we weren't getting the demon voice today.
No.
And so also just sound work in general between like the dragon roars. If you haven't watched the episode, watch for that. Watch for the voice change for like the actual guy that we faced. Oh my god, that was crazy. I was not expecting that. I swear there were probably multiple clips where our faces were just like, what? Like, this is crazy.
HP, thank you for the $1. It's very well appreciated.
Oh man.
That's what we
but
are.
HP, I know you're fixated on wanting to hear my deep demon voice. What I'm fixated on is your full outfit there, and how it's literally just like Father Christmas coming through, just his face floating through the sky.
Father Christmas, Mother Winter's wrath.
Yeah, Mother Winter's wrath. Someone called her the Frost Maiden.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
I feel like I shouldn't call out every single one of your transitions, but they're really good. And someone needs to just let you know they're really good.
Well,
I know I'm the guest here, but if you point out the segues, it really ruins the purpose of the segue.
Oh no. No.
No.
See, I'm gonna just drop it. Noise.
Only positivity here.
See,
we will compliment until we die.
See, the segue is for the viewer, but it's more for those two.
It's just for us to be like, damn, he did it. He actually pulled it off. The bastard. He took us from the one conversation back at it again with the solid transitions.
Didn't know where he was going, but by the time he got there, I wanted to be there too.
And here we are. Together.
That's a good transition.
Hey everyone.
Hi.
Hey. We run a show.
So if you you know what, I am having a good night. It's been a fun time so far. And you know what? It's been a fun time, and it has to be a fun time because the only rule we have is you must have fun here. But anyway, Frost Maiden. Rhyme of the Frost Maiden, the full name, is a new setting and campaign. Not new setting necessarily, but a new campaign in Forgotten Realms, correct? That explores the Icewind Dale and the frozen tundra of the north of not the Sword Coast, but the Forgotten Realms, I suppose. And HP here is the DM for our new show on TPK, which is cool. You know what? I'm gonna blank here because I'm a dumb.
Warm hearts.
Listen.
Positives, 4 words.
Listen, guys.
Cold warm hand heart.
I am a dumb all the time, not half the time, just all the time.
Warm, cold hand heart.
Warm, cold heart hands.
Hold cans. Harm warts.
Harm.
What have we done?
Rain.
Hogwarts.
No.
No, JK, no, please.
Dang it.
I think
The rest of this episode has just gotten muted. Twitch is looking out for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Listen, guys. Let's reset. Warm hands, cold hearts. I'm kidding. Cold hands, warm hearts is a new campaign you can find on TPK every other Friday. This past one was the beginning, where characters were introduced, which very interesting characters so far, from what I can tell. It's a kind of a wily band. HP, I don't recognize a ton of the players. Do you want to give the player introductions real quick if you can, or?
So I'll actually do that by talking about how this game came together, because
Okay.
I started putting this game together before I came to TPK, which is why I was kind of, it's why it was cast when I got here. But what I like about putting games together is bringing one of my friends, finding two new friends, and asking those two new friends to bring a friend of theirs. And then what that creates is it creates people that already have connections to other people, and then it's three groups that then come together to get to know each other. So when I started to think about wanting to do this campaign, that's how I approached it. I asked Nif if they would be in it. I had met Nif for a Curse of Strahd game, and we've been friends for a couple months now. And it's been really fantastic to talk with them and interact with how they see their games and how they RP and what they love, and all of that is so much fun, especially when you're stuck in the middle of a pandemic and not going out to see people in real life. This element of friendship is great. And so I asked Nif if they would be in it. They said yes, and then I started looking for just people that wanted to be a part. The first person that said yes was Al Lucart. So Al just posted randomly on Twitter that they had wanted to be in a streamed game, and I thought, well, why not? I'll just ask. So I replied to that message on Twitter and said, hey, do you want to be in a game? And they said yes. And I said, hey, do you have a friend that wants to come along? And they said yes. And that's how we got T. So T and Al are friends outside of this game, and they played games with each other. Al is playing Murph. I'll start with Niffer. So Niffer is playing Achilles Laneheart, Lane for short, who is basically a transplant to Icewind Dale, but has made Icewind Dale his home. So Lane's got some kids, some family there, other fun things going on that'll keep being revealed over time. And then Al is playing Mirth, a copper dragonborn who's a traveling bard that won a map on a bet, and that took him to Icewind Dale. And Sir Brahm, who T is playing, was basically it's playing the clean-cut paladin of Sir Brahm, and so it was just very easy for, as a clean-cut paladin, your mentor gives you this task to get rid of some bad guys, and hey, they live in Icewind Dale. And all of this was built behind the scenes so they could be moving toward the Icewind Dale. When it came to Rox and Brito, Rox got onto Twitter a couple months ago, I think in August, and I followed them on a recommendation by I think it was Noir that said, hey, this is a new person that's on Twitter, give him a follow, see what you think about him. So I started following Rox, and Rox and I had chit-chatted a couple times on Twitter already, and so I thought, hey, Rox, do you want to be in a new game? Do you have someone to bring? And then Rox's friend is Brito, and Brito came in, and Brito's very involved on Twitter, and she's a fabulous person. So that's how this game came together. And then Rox is playing Neo Flair, who is the Fire Ganassi, sees himself as a superhero and is ready to help anyone at the drop of a hat, whether they think or even know they need help yet. And I commented in our after game, he is the sweetest boy, Niffer. And Mirth Copper, I think. Pretty sure Mirth's Copper. That's right. But Neo is just an absolute blast to have as a player, because the DM will always put hooks out for players, and I've DM'd for long enough that you don't just throw one hook out because they might not like it. So you throw out a whole bunch of hooks, and you're like, okay, well, I've got 18 different ways this adventure can go, and here's the little hints and here's the big hints, and Neo Rox is playing Neo, a character that just grabs every single hook and shoves it in his mouth, and it just goes chasing after every little fetch quest or mini quest or side quest. Which, yes, congratulations, you are being rescued, Lugalak. It's exactly what's happening. It's like I'm here to save you, and it's like just the the random beggar that was there for flavor to show the town's poor, and Neo is rescuing them and returning their stolen home. I mean, that's the sort of character that Rox is playing. And then Brito is playing, sorry, this introduction went long. And then Brito is playing Sabine, and Sabine has lost her memory and only has a lullaby that she knows, which Mirth was whistling when they ran into each other. So all of these kind of played out to bring the party together, and then they wander into Icewind Dale, and Lane is standing there having his own information that's still in the dark, and said, "Hi, everyone. We're here to bring the sunshine back." So,
yes. So, just to kind of before we dive into more of the intricacies, just a brief recap of what I felt was needed to be said here. So they met up, they exchanged pleasantries, they were traveling and were attacked by a frozen undead entity that the DM said, "Hey, this is going to kill you." Which is always the best thing to hear from a DM.
You love to hear it, honestly. Hey, you're gonna die.
That reminds me, I want to talk about your alternate rules on random combat encounters. They witnessed the Great Aurora Borealis, or the TTRPG equivalent of, at least.
Located in your kitchen.
Yes, and that was always, that's all. Imagining the Aurora Borealis is always so cool to me, and I want to be able to see it at some point.
Right.
They were thrust into a harsh blizzard. They had a food trap that produced a pristine prime rib. They peed in the snow, and they had a blizzard, big blizzard band.
Yes, the igloo was the best part.
All before arriving at, it's 10 Towns, right? Is that where they made their way to?
Yeah,
or
10 Towns is the name of the 10 towns together. And then the actual town they were at of the 10 towns is Bryn Shander, which is the biggest of the 10 towns.
Gotcha. Okay. Where they found a talking fish and attacked it.
I'm being told you're forgetting the hair bacon, but I will.
The hair bacon was also very important.
I also got to roll this bean, this beautiful bean footage.
Starts to shh, 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 shh.
Mirth, you'll watch this.
Oh, there's a place I like to go. Farther up the river's flow. Where it is, I don't know. Must be under all that snow. Oh!
And then the head flaps back. And everyone just toasts. The entire inn just bursts into, "Oh, Bitey, you son of a bitch, I love."
What's the transition there, Tyrant? What's?
Well, I think it would only be do the explanation justice if while we got an old Bitey song, I think we should also take a look at one of the really nice songs that the players put on too, because it was beautiful. And I sent you that right before the old Bitey one.
And I was totally ready for that.
Which
is why I'm just gonna take a second to
yes. And while he is discussing that, HP, you want to tell me a little bit about your so the combat encounter they had with this mysterious ice undead entity? Obviously, HP told them that they were gonna die, so they didn't necessarily stick around and fight it. So HP, could you tell everyone a little bit about your alternative random encounter thing?
Yes, so I'm trying this for the first time this game, so I hope that it works out well. First off, the "this will kill you" comment. There's a couple ways as a DM that you can tell a party they shouldn't stop and fight something. One of the ways is you have a massive adult dragon, a very familiar creature, land on a house, and they shoot it with an eldritch blast. And then when they say, "Oh, did I hit it? Yeah. Can I roll for damage?" "No, I'm not letting you roll for damage." That's how you know that thing can kill you. When you deal with just a random undead out in the snow, that definitely could kill them. You sometimes just have to say, okay, well, Lane's a local. Lane knows what these are. Lane knows that if this gets up and touches you, it's going to be rolling 3d8s plus 6. And at level 1, you can't do that to a party. So that is what prompted, I wanted the danger of death to know this thing could kill a character without just killing them because they decided to fight it and having to, Deus Ex Machina their way out of it. So the alternative is, what do you do in Dungeons and Dragons if you can't fight something? And so I thought about that as like, I know I want them to encounter this if the random comes up, and it did that they were going to have it that first night. But how can we do it so that you get away? And so what I did is I draw it on 4th edition skill challenges. So if you didn't play in 4th edition introduced skill challenges to Dungeons and Dragons, which is the idea of getting so many successes at skills before you get so many failures. And if you get enough successes, you get away, or you win, or you solve the puzzle, or you get through the challenge. If you get too many failures, something bad happens, or you get through the challenge, but there's a fight, or and so they tried integrating that in a lot of ways.
Very much like the death saving throws.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. A lot. It's that's it exactly. It didn't even occur to me, but yes, death saving throws are 4th edition skill challenges.
Mm-hmm.
It's just there's one skill that you use. Now in 4th edition, those skills it got cumbersome, and there were charts, and there were DCs, and there were numbers, and so I tossed all of that out. Just decided I'm going to set a DC at a certain number, and whatever they do, I will either say, oh yeah, that makes sense, so I'm going to give them a little bit of bonus even though they don't see that bonus, or no, that seems crazy, I'll just make it harder for them to succeed. And so their goal is, if they want to run away, in this case, the paladin, Sir Brahm, grabbed Neo, who had been blasted by the undead for 3/4 of his hit points, and wanted to run. So I said, okay, give me a strength check or an athletics check. So the athletics check came up good. So that's a major success. And what I tell them is you get 5 major successes and you escape the encounter, or later on overcome the encounter. And one of the rules that I have is if you just want to fight whatever this is, you decide you can take it, any player, for when I say, okay, what are you going to do? What's the action you take, can say, I roll initiative, and then that'll start the fight. I'll toss them on a battle map. I'll give them the tokens. I'll put all of that on there. But the thing that I warned the players about is just because, Turk decides I roll initiative doesn't mean that everyone else is going to stick around. So Turk will be there rolling initiative while everyone else books it or distracts it or that sort of thing. And, I have things like if you use a leveled spell, I'm almost certainly going to give you a success no matter what it is, because you're using a resource. And really that's what random encounters are. They're there to drain resources, and I want to have them just not draining time. So we do kind of narrative random encounters. So yeah, that's my thinking behind it. In this case, every time they failed, it was going to blast them with a weakened version of its light blast. So if they rolled poorly, and none of them did actually, they all succeeded at what they did. If any of them rolled poorly, it would just shoot a different one of them. So that was, it gets that, 3/4 of your hit points disappear in one blast. You keep running.
Please keep running. Oh God.
You would hope, of
It's a
course,
premiere.
as a DM, that they would keep running.
Yeah, especially when there's character art involved,
Exactly.
You can roll up a new character, but it looks exactly like the one that you just...
It's the twin.
Yes.
But yeah, no, like I'm a huge fan of incorporating skill challenges in my campaigns. I did that almost all the time in my homebrew campaign. Although something I really did like to do is to introduce the idea of success but with complication. So if something was like right on that cusp of like, this was already a harder thing, but you rolled really well. Like there's, you get away, but like, I don't know, like you trip over something, or like there's something else going on, which I really like to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Turk.
I do have the clip now.
Okay.
I was able to prepare. You gave me a clip, then you gave me another clip. I wasn't sure. I think this is the right clip. I hope you still like me after I hit the play button here.
Well,
Here we go.
We'll see.
Or you can just stand for a minute.
Well, I will head over to Sabine and kind of sing the sea shanty from this morning to kind of like try and tempt her, like familiarize her out of it, and just like be like, come on, come back to us type thing. So come all you no hopers, you jokers and rogues, we're on the road to nowhere, so let's find out where it goes. It might be a ladder to the stars, who knows? Come all you no hopers, you jokers and rogues.
That was wonderful.
There you go, chat.
That was amazing.
We are going to get everyone on TPK to sing in one way or
Every
another.
single one of you.
Everyone in this chat is going to sing.
Hey, we're just building a cast for the TPK play, so.
Hey, yeah.
Which is now a musical.
It's now.
Yeah.
I guess it's now.
We
a
were
musical.
casting
Great.
Shrek 2, so I guess that's what's happening.
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, did you not see that in the Discord like forever ago? Yeah, we
Oh,
were
the
casting Shrek 2.
Yeah, we were casting Shrek too.
And I'm pretty sure you were gonna be Puss in Boots.
Oh, thank goodness. Luca, you will sing, and you will be lovely. The Bard's refrain demands that you sing.
Please.
Which, hey, solid transition on my part, I think.
Okay.
If I might.
It
If I
hits
might. I
different
don't know.
when
Do we
like
want to
call
dig into this
yourself
further?
out. I don't know about that.
I can call myself out as much as I want. That's half of my
Well,
that's half my charm.
That's not a terrible transition. I will give you that. However,
you.
HP, how much more do you think you can talk about Frostmaiden?
Please do. Save me.
As much as you want. The fish, I think, is worth talking about.
Oh please.
Please.
Oh,
So,
please.
the fish is written. The fish is in the adventure module, and there's like one weird kind of not really a side quest maybe for some groups associated with the fish, but besides that, it's just a fish in a tavern that's been magically enchanted to sing. And I just used it as it's meant to be the kind of the butt of the joke of that tavern, and it ended up really opening up the RP from some of the players. So that fish just kept interrupting what was going on. And, as grating as my voice can be, when especially singing like that, it jarred them out of whatever was just happening. They had just, got done getting a quest from an NPC that seemed serious, and, they're doing some research, and they were kind of a little bit of a silly NPC anyway. And then this fish breaks out singing. And by the third time, Sabine is just like booking it toward the fish because she's going to tear it off the wall. And it takes the entire bar to just grab her and pull her back. And there's things like that where, as a DM, I'm thinking, okay, do I let her roll something to hurt the fish? I'm like, no, I think it just works better as a story if we just let this play as an emotional thing. And so the fish kind of opened up the RP there in an interesting way at this inn. And I think it was also the last, the very end, and I'm not going to say what happens, but, watch the very last minute of that tavern scene, because it just, everything about the tavern scene kind of builds and gets better and better and better as the characters are interacting, and they're getting some of these initial quests that you get in session 1. And then you've got this fish that keeps interrupting. So it's great. The other thing that I'll say about Frostmaiden real quick, and it's tied to what we were talking about with Curse of Strahd, there's some elements of Frostmaiden that ended up being changed. Frostmaiden can be really dark. If anyone has seen The Thing, The Thing is basically the entire feel of Frostmaiden. There's something dark and cold and isolated going on, and you have to deal with it. And it's interesting to see horror from the environmental perspective rather than the bad guy they saw the first night. They saw the big bad the first night drawing the aurora over the sky. So it's everyone in Icewind Dale knows what's going on, and nobody can do anything about it. So it makes for an interesting theme. And I guess it's kind of like Curse of Strahd is too. Everybody knows what's going on. They know what the problem is, but who's going to deal with it?
No, that's a good point. I will say, I guess my last question before we move on to Turk's fantastic segue. I'm just messing
Set you up another. Keep yours up.
What are you most excited about? Short term, midterm, long term for this campaign?
So it actually happened when the good table was triggered, because we had a good table get. Oh wait, he's listening for the segue opportunity. Sorry, I
got you. Don't worry.
I was bluffing. I don't have anything yet, so we'll see if I can come up with it before I get done talking. So a good table got triggered, and I was trying to think, okay, well, what do we do with good tables in this? And there is and when the good table happened, it's just this random figure shows up and drops this magical item in their lap. And this magical item lets them, catch food for the day, and it catches weird food. It caught a fully cooked rack of ribs. That was the food that they found in the bear trap the next morning when they went to go check it. So one of the things I'm looking forward to is not only things like that happening to force me to deal with the good table, bad table things, but the magical figure itself showing up in different ways. So and what that's going to mean for the character interactions. And that might sound vague, but sometimes you have a little bit of mystery that you're trying to unsolve. You're trying to put the pieces together so that you understand what's going on behind the scenes. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Speaking of chat donations and the importance they play in sessions.
Yeah.
We
Sure.
had quite the game this Saturday, if you weren't already tuned in for the 7 hours. It was fine. If you didn't stay up till 5 a.m., allow me to regale you with a song of the Bard's Refrain, which I'm going to use for every Bard's Refrain now that I've just written that up in my brain. Okay, so there is not too much pain, Luca. There is too much story. Kicking us off once again back with the group of the Bard's Refrain. We are dropped exactly where we left off, following our group out of the wastes, out of the Wenyan wastes, into the fortress, which has been apparently attacked by a black dragon that shoots ice. Those two facts might not align for you. In the moment at the start, I said, of course, the black dragon breathes ice. But I was told later that was incorrect because I am not smart. Following that, the group is sent on a mission to the capital of Norfordia, to Retford, to find the son of Retford, to request aid from the council so they may properly man the walls of the waste to keep out the vile, dark magic that spawns from within, that turns magic against itself and causes all sorts of chaos. And there was a lot that happened. There was some good tables. There were some bad tables. There was a deck of TPK things that changed a whole character scenario for the night. Thank you, Cole, for submitting that. And thank you, Mr. Rogers, for having us pull that, because wow, it added a whole nother layer of shenanigans to what was already a shenanigans-filled night. And if you have missed any of the previous sessions of the Bard's Refrain, one, of course, rewatch it, and two, if you don't have time somewhere in your busy schedule to rewatch it, we do have a little bit of Noir's character, Rael, the changeling mastermind rogue, to recap it here for you right now, because he's going to express a lot of woe in this next clip, and I want you all to be ready for it. But it is also a good recap. It's recap within a recap, people. Recapception.
Of getting my agency started in this town. So I was hoping.
Right.
I'm
yes.
hoping
Well.
I might speak.
the Baroness was called away shortly after you left, back to her own barony for some urgent business. Her and Maria left.
Does this have anything to do about the dragon?
Dragon?
Oh. Guess not then.
There was... I'm sorry, Ryle. There was a dragon? I was gonna let you just gloss over the fact that you went into the wastes, considering that no one goes into the wastes, but I cannot abide you trying to just steam on past a dragon, Ryle.
Listen, man, it's been a really hectic couple of months, weeks, days. I'm tired. I made friends with the painting. I think I'm a little punch drunk still.
Leon
yes,
will
there was a
reach out to
dragon.
try and hold your elbow.
It's odd with a campaign that takes place once a month to remember, hey, this campaign doesn't have downtime in between, really. You are going right from one session to the other, back to back to back to back to back, and I mean, in that clip alone, you should see all the selling points of the barge refrain. I mean, you know, we have characters reacting naturally to the stimulus the DM provides. We have the DM who has built an entire world for this campaign, you know, and written it all in. Even though I helped point out a few of the towns that were named the same.
Silence.
But you know,
those are just hints for later.
I mean, exactly. That's what I thought. I was just like, hey, is this meant to be a thing? Anyway, you know, and of course, on top of all of that, if you haven't watched it already, there is a song or artist or group or band hidden within this whole session. Now, I'm not going to tell you what it was.
You have to find that out for
You
yourself.
have to find that out for yourself 100%. I believe the honors of victory went to Purple Phil this month rather, for getting it first and posting in the Discord. It should be noted that it is, in fact, a bit of a competition. If the players get it first, they do get inspiration. If chat gets it first, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but it's certainly going to make you feel real smart and clever when we don't get it. Though I will note, the last two sessions were definitely attempts to trick us. The Halloween one especially. So this time, I feel the answer hit one of our members in the face very early on, but they were terrified it was a red herring the whole time. Yeah, so a lot happened. I mean, there was some backstory revealed for all of our characters. I mean, we got some hints at backstory from other people previously, and now we've got some other hints of backstory for the other half of our contingent here. So I would heartily encourage you to check all the songs out in the Bar's Refrain. There was a lot, as promised in the beforehand. There's a lot of politicking, intrigue, and backstabbery and drudgery happening, and it is an absolute joy to be a part of this group, and I hope it's a joy to watch, especially because we went to 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with this one.
Absolutely. Just, you know, how many shows are gonna make me sob at like 4 in the morning?
Oh my gosh, the end to this one is
Oh,
definitely
I was
a tearjerker.
crying.
I am glad I got all my tears out at Harper's for the year because
Nope, never run out of tears.
I
Just
don't
never.
know. I think I hit my quota.
It was like, how many times? How many times is it gonna happen?
But no, it's
Oh, man.
an
It was
absolute
so good.
joy to be a player in these, and I hope that translates to our performances. I feel like there was a lot of really solid scenes for everyone else, and just like, oh my gosh, just being able to sit back and watch you all. Yeah, you might get the chance to see Luca ugly cry on stream. Except it's not ugly crying.
No.
No one is ever ugly crying.
Listen.
That's a fallacy. No
You
one
sure
ever.
about that?
Okay, I ugly cry, yes, but that's because my nose is all messed up
Oh.
and I can't breathe right. And I just want to thank everybody. And I got a lot of emotions out of nowhere. Anyway, yeah. I guess. Does anyone have any questions about the Bard's Refrain? Because
Oh,
I do. Like, why would you pick Jack Flash as the first person on the list of the Dirge 15? He's the worst one. I mean, he's objectively great, but like,
hey, you know what? You always got to pick out the main antagonist before you show the henchman.
no,
right?
it's 100%.
Trickle
Okay,
down
okay.
violence, like
Look,
I said in chat.
look. Okay.
Well, I do.
Okay, so my character Bootstrap is a former member of a gang slash crew slash pirate crew slash General Droogs, me and the boys, the boys,
The boys.
except there's some girls in them boys, and I gave our wonderful GM DM Sarah a list of these characters with a very brief light description, sometimes a bit more in depth. The character we encountered in stream simply has the note, teleporting halfling, very annoying. What proceeds from there, you will all have to bear witness, but,
It's wild. You need to watch it, please.
Wow, okay.
Dangerous.
Just a big shout out to Purple Phil for chat donations are important,
They're
everybody.
important. Oh my
So,
god.
without saying anything, how do you as player feel about roles like that being a secret?
Okay. Noir had a fantastic idea to roll some certain roles in secret and DM the GM DM. It felt awkward to say DM the DM, so you see how I stuttered there. And I think it is an excellent idea, and I love it, and I want to bring it to every one of my campaigns and one shots and even this maybe. But oh my gosh,
It's
as someone
evil.
in session, I was like, this is the best idea, but I hate you. Which I feel is like a lot of
Exactly.
energy that Noir brings to sessions. Like, that is a fantastic idea. How dare you do it, though?
Yeah.
Have you ever
Yeah.
DM'd for Noir? I love Noir dearly, but have you ever
He's
DM'd for Noir?
amazing. I have
He's
not
an
had the
amazing RPer. He always has great ideas of what to do. He doesn't shy away from combat, to say that lightly. But yeah, it is killer to have him at a table. Always great.
And also, just congrats in general. He's streaming full time now,
Yes.
which is the best.
Noir has gone
It makes me
full-time.
very happy.
Starting this week, he went full time, or end of last week, early this week. I think his announcement was on Sunday.
Very recently.
Yeah.
Very recently, he's
We're,
gone
of
full
course,
time streaming.
super glad we get to be a portion of his calendar going forward.
Mhm.
He is the goal we all aspire to reach as
He is living the
streamers.
life that we all want to do.
Fuck.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna have a pretty fun time learning about birds.
You know what? You're right. You're right. It's pretty
Okay,
cool.
yeah, I guess ornithology is comparable to streaming full time, but like,
It's a bird academy. It's important.
I think that's a good thing to point out, actually, because something that I've noticed is, there's kind of two groups that come to places like TPK Roleplay because of the open calls for casting and because of drawing a lot of people in. You've drawn people that want to do this all the time, and you guys, especially those in leadership, you guys want this is the full time, this is the goal, this is the aim. I've written out what this actually looks like, and this is the direction to go. All of those things are taken into consideration, and then you also have people that are here going, I'm just here having a blast. And both of those come together into such a really great channel. I've loved being a part of TPK from the time that I did that single one shot with Cole onwards. It's been awesome to be a part. Which, by the way, that one shot has a lot of us have got involved out of that Desert of the Dead one shot that was speaking of, because it was just, those opportunities are what's so fun. And, I love being a part of that. So we have, folks going full-time, folks that are full-time, that want to be full-time, and folks that are here for the fun of it, because it's a hell of a good time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's so great. I don't know. I think I could probably do it full time if I, down the road, but we would have to.
TPK house.
Yeah, listen.
Nothing but content all
it's
day.
gonna-
Only
it's gonna
content every day of the
24-hour
week.
stream after
No.
24-hour stream.
It's gonna happen. We're
No,
gonna have
this-
It's your
TPK
turn,
reality
Turk. Oh, he's
show.
passed out.
There's only like 6 days in November that don't have a game.
Crazy. Yeah, this week is actually pretty chill, and I think it's because there's a holiday mostly.
It's
But, you know,
almost
we
like there's a
have-
holiday this week or something.
You know,
There's
okay,
very
I'll
few.
appreciate it.
Very few days in December, and then I think there's like 2 days in January.
January is
There you
a
go.
Christmas parking lot.
But speaking of our upcoming schedule, I think it's probably a pretty good time to talk about that.
Is it time?
I don't know. Is it time? Does anybody else want to talk about
I don't
Debarge
know.
Refrain?
Is Sarah in the chat? Good. Okay. We can get through this without interruption.
I was like,
Listen.
or I could just talk about it because as
You know
long
what?
as I talk
You
about
go
it, it's
ahead.
fine.
I'll chirp in when necessary.
Yeah, just
What's happening tomorrow?
there's this
Heck?
very specific name that you just don't need to say, or maybe 2 names that you just don't say, and you're fine. But anyway, the sequel to Long Night at the Booth House is happening tomorrow. We have lovingly named it Raven's Crest after the setting that we have decided to
Go
put
Raven
the small
Trust
town
Murder.
USA in. Yeah, it's going to be the same kind of Electric Bastion Lands rules that we used for that one shot during the 14 days of Halloween. And yeah, we'll be revisiting our ragtag group of 80s teens, seeing what trouble they're going to get into next. It sounds super fun. I'm so excited for it. But that is tomorrow. So stay tuned for tomorrow night. I forget what time it is. I think it's at like 7 EST.
8.
Yes, it is.
7?
7 EST, right?
Okay.
Nope, it's 8. You're right.
It's
You're
8.
right.
It's
You're right.
8.
You're
I was
right. You're
gonna
right.
say.
Time zones suck. Okay. I
Yeah,
hate
don't
them.
worry. You're almost as bad as math as Chuck is.
Hey.
Up to.
Oh my God. Self 5. But yeah, that's happening. And then on Wednesday we have our second episode of Singularity, which is also going to be pretty cool. But that's all that's on the schedule. So
Yes,
man.
and because of that, because we have a holiday week coming up, and we have a very light schedule, we will not be having Total Party Recap this coming up Sunday, and we will be including Raven's Crest and Singularity into next a week, 2 weeks from now, as we will be recapping 2 weeks of content. So I'm sorry, I know you have to wait a little bit, but I encourage all of you to go have fun with your families during the Thanksgiving time, and look forward to December, where we have just a lot of content.
You remember the first episode when we said, "Oh, like each week isn't going to be bad after this. Like we're going to be fine doing only 1 week."
Yeah, we have 1 day off. We have 1 day off from December 1st to 20th.
Look.
I love
Good.
it though. It's so good.
7
It's
days.
good to have this content. I'm very happy.
There's only 7 empty days in December.
7 days.
And that's including the
That's including
the
Christmas, Christmas
that's
Eve.
including the Christmas times. So
If anybody wants to run something on the 21st, that's your only open day.
yeah. And then
That's all you got.
28th. There you go. 21st or 28th, 23rd. That's it.
Who even knows?
But
So much shenanigans.
because we aren't going to have one next week, some things that you might want to look forward to coming up. Obviously, we will be having 2 weeks from now. We will be having Beyond the Undergrowth, Darkest Night, Brightest Light, The Queen's Gambit, and Cold Hands, Warm Hearts. The week after that, we will be returning to Blackchapel with J.K. Madigan, which is going to be very fun.
What's left of Blackchapel?
I am so
We
excited.
blew it up.
I don't know. You blew it up.
blew it
and now
up.
we're gonna have to see what they rebuilt.
Damn dirty hillbilly elf. You
my
blew
gosh.
it to hell.
I was glued to my phone screen
Why?
because I was in New Mexico. Okay, I was in New Mexico at the time. I was glued to my phone screen to see
There
what
was
would happen
nothing
that
coherent
first one
about
shot.
that party.
And Oh my gosh, yeah, I remember, like, I'm pretty sure you could probably see it in the VOD in chat when JK mentioned that there was going to be a part 2 of this. I was like, sign me up, put me in this.
Yeah.
I need to be
Yeah.
in this.
How is there? It's level 7,
Yeah.
part 2. The church has been blown up. The reverend's dead.
Turk,
What's
are you in
happening
it?
now? No, I'm not. I
Okay.
can't touch that. I know
So-
what happened last time I walked into Black Chapel.
So of everyone on screen, Turk is the only one that will not be in.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, now I need
Yes.
to watch. Oh wait, no.
It's-
Okay, don't tell me that because I have. Okay, I'm sitting on 42,000 points. I
Oh,
will make you blow
no.
that shit up again.
Hey, you know
I
what?
will
Do
not
it.
rest until
Hey,
that
you
city
know what?
is a hole in the
Do it.
ground. You hear
You
me,
don't-
JK?
hey,
you
listen.
hear me?
Listen,
Hole
you
in the
don't-
ground.
Listen, we're gonna have a very Charlie-esque character for Return to Black Chapel, and I am so
Oh
ready.
boy.
So right after
Charlie
Black,
work?
the what? What joke did you try to make? Wait, I can't hear you now.
He does the Charlie work. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Keep
I don't
going.
know what you're saying. Okay, never mind.
And
Proceed
blue
without
screening.
me. My
Just
references
full
are off.
over my head, guys. Sorry.
I'm gonna goodbye, good night, everybody. I'm gonna sign off early. Good night.
Oh, it says go under the desk a bit. Where's the hand?
So
Got some up.
Second, I'm
There it
googling
is.
this. 1 sec. Ah,
Honk.
it's an Always Sunny reference.
Oh.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Right after
Reemerge.
Yes, right after Black Chapel, we have a holiday one-shot for Harbor's Investigations, which is going to be fun. It will not be based in any of the campaigns, but it will be kind of like an in-between, buffer between season 1 and season 2. Season 2 of which starts early January, so keep an eye out on that. Then we have Singularity again. We finally have the return of Roundhouse Whitebridge. Thankfully, I've been dying for it.
Do you have your notes ready?
You have to keep track of everything.
I know.
You have to know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. I will tell you what's going on. And what's going on, it's deep.
Otherwise, you gotta have it memorized.
You don't memorize it. You memorize it, you'll find it.
You got it memorized.
Something in that same week that a lot of you might be interested in. We will be having it's on the calendar, so I'm sure I'm allowed to talk about it. We will be David Dudka is writing a Star Wars one-shot for us that a number of us will be playing in, and I'm so excited.
Don't get us muted.
I won't. Don't worry. It's
It's a local rendition, not a company. Local rendition without accompaniment.
Yes.
And then that same week, we'll have the 3rd episode of Murder and Coffee, where I will be bringing on Chrissy, Callie Numbers in chat, to talk about therapeutic TTRPGs. So come check that out. It's going to be very, very informative because it's a topic that I really want to dive into, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that want to know as much or not, if not more than I do. So
What is happening?
I don't know.
You were just so blank.
Yeah, because I was nodding too hard. It's called being in agreement.
Scared me.
And yeah, we
Entering
just have
hyperdrive.
we have kind of a repeat of this week, the week after that, literally the exact same.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Yeah, and then Christmas, and then New Year's, and then 2021. Cross your fingers for 2021, everyone. let's get the good vibes going now.
Everything is crossed. It is going to be amazing. TPK 2021 is going to be a marquee year. Calling it now. I don't know if that's going to be a good or a bad thing, but it's going to be a thing.
Yes. So that concludes our episode for tonight. Unless there's any questions that I've missed in the chat.
I'm not seeing any other than Niffer saying Star Wars.
Yes.
Yes.
Star Wars. And your boy will be playing a Wookiee, so
Of course you're playing.
Yes.
Wait, can we get a preview?
No.
Please.
Damn it. Wait.
I haven't
Give him another
practiced.
dollar. Give him another dollar.
I haven't practiced yet.
I might give him another dollar.
Hey, someone, you want a video? Give me $1. It's all for that money, you know.
Give me a
I'm not
second.
an easily bribed man, but $1 is $1.
Oh boy.
We're just gonna wait for it, aren't we?
Yeah, we're just gonna
wait
sit here
for
in
it.
silence.
I wanted to play. Oh, yep. There it is.
City.
Give it. Yes.
Oh.
Yes. What's that, boy? Lucky stuck on
yes.
the well?
So we'll need to have someone to interpret the Wookiee for me. But
I wanted to play a chess, but then he said I was gonna be Thrawn later, and I'm like, I can't say no to that. Mithranado.
Yes. So anyway, we have a lot of content coming up. Links are being posted in the chat as we talk for the schedule, Discord, Patreon, and I don't know what else. What else is there? Is that it? I can't remember.
Discord,
I think
Patreon.
we have a command for YouTube. We have a command for YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
We do put things
Watch
on
Desert
YouTube
of the
occasionally,
Dead.
and there's a lot less faffing about on the YouTubes.
Yes.
Though honestly, the faffing about's why y'all here, ain't it?
Well, that and the hoods. So
That and the hoods.
yeah. But anyway, thank you all for coming and joining us. I know this one ran a little shorter than last time, but last time also ran like 15, 20 minutes long. So we're getting there. We're still around the 2-hour mark, but we're getting there.
We got it with the
All
with
right.
the tech delays.
Yeah, tech delays.
Tech delays is fine.
Exactly. Oh, you know what? Yeah. No, we were here for about 10 minutes before the tech delays, so we got this. Hey, 2 hours, perfect. Anyway, thank you all for coming. Remember, nothing next week. Raven's Crest and Singularity during the week, but no TPR next week, and then we will be recapping the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now. So yeah, thank you all for coming again. Keep saying that, and we will see you later.
Bye.